Bob Barker saying good night, everybody.
One of these three young people has a very famous pen pal, General Norman Schwarzkopf. Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Sean Tavares.
Number two.
My name is Sean Tavares.
Number three.
My name is Sean Tavares.
Only one of these people is the real Sean Tavares, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Co-star of Murder, She Wrote, Ron Mazak. Talk show hostess, Mother Love. From Santa Barbara, Frank Runyon. And to tell the truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Burton. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, panel.
Good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to welcome to our program today a man who was with us recently, did so well in his one appearance that we've decided to bring him back for the entire week. Frank Runyon, one of the stars of Santa Barbara.
I'm happy to be here.
And joining us for the very first time, a purveyor of good common sense advice, especially in matters of love, and that's why she is known as Mother Love. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Have some fun on this program.
Oh, are you kidding?
All right. Let's get to our very first story, the one represented by these three young people, all of whom claim to be Sean Tavares. I, Sean Tavares, have a famous pen pal. I exchanged letters with General Norman Schwarzkopf, the man who was in charge of Operation Desert Storm in the Persian Gulf. Last summer, my dad sent a newspaper clipping to the general, and I decided to write a letter. Boy, were we surprised when he wrote back. He used Operation Desert Storm stationery and signed all the letters himself. I've sent more than a dozen letters, and I usually enclose a drawing. The general said my letters helped keep his spirits up, and that maybe we'll meet in person someday. That will be great, but in the meantime, even though he's back home, I'll keep writing. Signed, Sean Tavares. We'll find out more about General Schwarzkopf's good young buddy after this.
Question!
Which one of these products do you think is on sale?
Higher than the 5.
I disagree.
You get the square. Ready?
Hi, I'm Johnny Bench. After a Hall of Fame career, it's no wonder why I use Blue Emu Arthritis Cream. Blue Emu's non-greasy, deep-penetrating formula gets down deep into those joints for big-time pain relief. Blue Emu, it works fast and you won't stink.
At Southern New Hampshire University, we believe in education built for all people.
SNHU was the best experience of my life.
Without SNHU, I wouldn't be the leader I am today.
I graduated high school 19 years ago. I still finished.
In the military, you feel that sense of accomplishment. That's what SNHU is.
You will march from this arena and say to the world, I did it.
You did it. I love you.
I love you too.
Best Fiends. Collect JoJo and tons of other cute characters. Solve thousands of fun puzzles. Download Best Fiends for free today. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends.
These three young people all claim to be Sean Tavares, a pen pal of General Norman Schwarzkopf. Kitty, we'll start the questioning with you, please.
Thank you. Number 2, what was the newspaper clipping that your father sent?
It was the Beefy Bradley, and it was about how America supports the troops.
And number 3, tell me about your, what was the stationery like? Was it white paper? Was it embossed? Was it...
I don't understand what you mean.
I don't blame you. I don't either.
It was just letter paper.
Number 1, what kind of drawings did you send?
I sent a picture of Norman Schwarzkopf running over Saddam Hussein with a tank.
Good thought. Frank.
Number 1, your newspaper clipping was from what paper that your dad sent?
It was called the Tribune.
And number 2, who was there when the first letter arrived from the general?
Many people were there, but we did get it at home, and a lot of the people who supported them were there.
Number 3, did you take the first letter to school, show it to your friends?
Yes, I did.
You did. Number 2, your friends, did they start writing?
Actually, I just started writing because of the thing that my dad didn't, and I thought it would be nice if I enclosed a letter and a drawing with him.
And none of your friends started writing to the general to see
No,
if they
they
had?
didn't.
No, they didn't. Mother.
Number 1, did your friends think that you were kind of being a bit too macho, writing to a general in Operation Desert Storm?
Yes, they were very jealous of me.
Oh, what? Well, number 1, why do you think they were so jealous?
They were mad because they didn't have a father who wrote for the papers.
Oh, well, I see. Number 2, what made you choose to write to General Schwarzkopf?
Well, it was just because my father had done it, and I really liked hearing about the war, and I really enjoyed seeing it, and I thought he was a very important man in the war, so I thought I would write to him.
Number 3, is your father in the military?
He used to be in the military many years ago.
Number 2.
Ronnie?
I love all of them. I think they're terrific. I'm going to take them all home. Number 3, what kind of picture did you draw for the general?
I draw with Hussein in a tank in here, and the general in a tank, and the general blowing up Hussein's tank, and whatever picture I draw, the general always wins.
That's good. I like that.
We ought to get him conducting our foreign policy.
Number 2, when the first letter came back from the general, did you think it was a joke, or did you think it was for real?
Well, I thought it was real because my father had written to him, and I thought he would like what my father wrote, and I thought we really did appreciate it, so I thought it was not a joke.
Number 1, where do you write to the general now that he's home?
Well, I haven't wrote any letters to him now that he's home, but while he was in the Persian Gulf, I wrote to New York, and from New York, the United Air Force mail would take it to Saudi Arabia.
Terrific.
All right. Fascinating questions and some terrific answers. And now it's time for our panelists to cast their votes for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Who is the real young pen pal of General Schwarzkopf? This team of young challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if our panelists are fooled completely, then the team will receive $3,000. Kitty, for whom did you vote?
Well, number 3 was absolutely marvelous, and he didn't understand my question. I didn't either, and I loved him. But and number 2 was real spunky, and I think kind of person who would really do that sort of thing and had a lot of courage. But I voted for number 1 because he said the mail went from New York, and I had a friend in the Persian Gulf, and I know that's the truth.
The mail did go from New York.
Yes.
Frank?
I have a little girl who would have enough words to put on the paper that many times. And number 2, you definitely are in command of a nice long sentence. So I voted for number 2.
Yes, indeed. Mother Love?
Well, I looked at number 1, and he was just kind of like staring off. Yeah, right, the general, big deal. So what, he's my pen pal. So I didn't think it was him. And number 2 just knew just a little too much information. And I said, yeah, she sounds like something I would do. And number 3, when he answered your question and said every picture that he sends to the general, he won, that took me. And so I voted for number 3.
All right, good. The votes are nicely split. Ron, you're going to break the tie.
Yes, Alex, the sad part about this is 2 of those kids are liars.
And at such a young age.
Yes, and excellent at it.
And they're going to be paid for lying.
Now, the basic reason I voted for who I voted for to break the tie is the same thing that Mother Love just said. He inspired the general by making sure he won all the time. So I went along with number 3, too. But
All
you're
right.
all wonderful.
Let's review the voting then. We have 1 vote for number 1, 1 also for number 2, and 2 votes for number 3. And so it's time now to find out who the real pen pal of General Schwarzkopf is. Will the real Sean Tavares please stand up? It is number 3. Sean, we'll get back to you in a moment. First, we want to find out about these personable imposters. Number 1, who are you?
My name is Tony Beavers, and I enjoy running track, and when I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
How old are you?
I'm 10.
10. Welcome aboard. Number 2, who are you, young lady?
I'm Jessica Showman. I enjoy ballet, and when I grow up, I want to be an anchor woman, and I'm 9 years old.
You're 9 years old. Well, the 2 of you were terrific. There were 2 incorrect votes. As you know, at $500 apiece, that means the team will receive $1,000 in cash. And now, Sean, how old are you?
I'm 8 years old.
8 years old. Would you like to correspond? Would you like to become a pen pal for anybody with anybody else?
Yes, I would.
Yeah? Who?
Well, I have another pen pal in the golf, which his name is Major Murdy.
Aha. Now, we found out about the imposters. What about you? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be either someone who designs planes and draws them out, or a 5-star general in the Air Force.
5-star general in the Air Force. Well, good for you. I have seen some of the correspondence that you have received from General Schwarzkopf. It's very impressive, and I've got a surprise for you. I have here a letter from General Schwarzkopf. He knew you were going to appear on the program, and this has the embossed flag with 4 stars. Commander-in-Chief, United States Central Command, MacDill Air Force Base, Florida. Dear Sean, I understand that you've been invited to appear on To Tell the Truth, and I wanted to extend to you my best regards as one of your pen pals. Our military forces, as you know, were never alone during the recent conflict because millions of Americans, like yourself, took the time to write and let our brave men and women in uniform know that their country was backing them. Again, I thank you for your past letters. I am very proud of you for being such a patriotic American. Sincerely, H. Norman Schwarzkopf, General, U.S. Army. Sean, I'm going to give you the letter. It's a pleasure meeting you. You hang on to this. We're going to come back, ladies and gentlemen, with a woman whose novel was published by Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis right after this. All right, let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Elizabeth Crook.
Number 2.
My name is Elizabeth Crook.
Number 3.
My name is Elizabeth Crook.
It's up to our panelists to find out who the real Elizabeth Crook is. I hope these challengers are as good as our first team. Let me read the affidavit. I, Elizabeth Crook, just had my first book published. I am the author of The Raven's Bride. My novel is based on the true story of Sam Houston's first marriage. As governor of Tennessee, Houston married a young woman who just 11 weeks after the wedding suddenly left him. The ensuing scandal forced Houston to resign the governorship in disgrace and embark on an exile that delivered him to Texas. For years, I worked on this story. I received rejection slips from virtually every publisher in New York. I was in the depths of despair and eating pork and beans from a can when, out of the blue, I received a telephone call. It was from an editor in New York. Her name, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Signed, Elizabeth Crook. Another very positive story, obviously. Ron, we'll start with you.
Yes, number 1, what did she say to you?
She said that she had read my book, that she had read it in 2 days, and she liked it, and that Doubleday would like to acquire it.
Number 2, is Doubleday the publisher?
Yes, it is.
Number 3, what the title, The Raven's Bride?
Well, the Raven, Sam Houston was referred to as the Raven by the Cherokee Indians, and she was his first wife.
Number 1.
Well, let's go to Mother Love.
Number 3, was Sam Houston's wife an Indian?
No, she was not.
Number 2, do you know if they ever got a divorce after the scandal? Because it just says that 11 days later she left.
They did, but they did not get an official divorce until he had married his third wife.
What, number 1, isn't that bigamy? Weren't you writing about some sleazy guy walking around just picking up young women?
He was married in Arkansas to a Cherokee woman, actually, after this, the breakup of his first marriage. And it was considered bigamy.
All right, Frank.
Okay, number 2. Did you think that maybe it was a joke call and the woman said she was Jackie?
I was taken aback. She said her name is Mrs. Onassis.
How long
I
did you
really
talk on
thought
the phone with her?
About 3 minutes.
Number 3. How long is your book?
It's about 363 pages.
Did you type it on carbons or was it Xeroxed or how did you do it?
I typed it on my computer originally.
Number 1. Do you agree with that? You do it on your computer?
Yes, I work on a computer.
He's processing on.
All right, we'll
I don't.
wrap it
I
up
still
with
type.
you, Kitty.
Thank you. When Mrs. Onassis called you, did you recognize that very distinctive voice?
Number one, yes, I did.
Number 2, did she work with you on it? Because she's an excellent editor.
No, she didn't, because it was with another house before it went, another publishing house went bankrupt, so it was in the final form.
Oh, and number 3, who was your editor at Doubleday? It was not Mrs. Onassis?
Yes, it was, but it was originally edited by Texas Weekly Press.
Number 2, did she become a...
Time's up, and I'm not so sure that that last response was a great help or added to the confusion of all of this. But at any rate, it's time for you four to cast your ballots for the lady you feel is the author of The Raven's Bride. Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Ron, for whom did you vote?
Well, I eliminated number 3 because she said it was about 363. I mean, if it's your book, you know how many pages are exactly. And number 1, I just had the feeling, was so proud. And when she said she knew the voice immediately, then I just went with number 1.
All righty. Mother?
Well, number 1 just looks entirely too young to be writing something scandalous like The Raven's Bride. Number 2, I don't know. Number 3 looks like she would be into everybody's business so deep. So I voted for number 3.
Frank?
Well, number 1 looks too much like she's a writer. I mean, she's just so bookish, it's too big a sell. And number 2, she's so sharp and intelligent. And number 3 seems like more of a normal person. She's trying to throw us off. So I know you really ate pork and beans, lady. Number 3.
All righty. Kitty?
Oh, goodness, I think they might all have eaten pork and beans. Delicious, delicious dish. But I thought that number 1 said with a real feeling of joy that she recognized Mrs. Onassis' voice, and so I voted for number 1.
All right. We have 2 votes in for number 1, no votes for number 2, and 2 votes also for number 3. So it's time now to find out who the unraveler of the romantic mystery really is. And so will the real Elizabeth Crook please stand up? No, it is number 1, the bookish one. Our veterans on the panel, Kitty and Ron, got it right. When you're doing research on something like this, you come across a great deal of information that may inspire another novel, other juicy tidbits in our history. Did that happen with the Sam Houston story, Elizabeth?
Yes, and I'm working on my second novel. Doubleday has bought that one also, and Mrs. Onassis is editing this book.
What's this book going to be about?
It's set in the context of the Texas Revolution. It's sort of the raunchier side, the gun running and the slave smuggling, the espionage.
Fascinating part of our history.
Yes,
all right,
it is.
let's meet the imposters. Number 2.
Hi, my name is Annie Rosen, and I'm a counselor in an elementary school.
See, you are intelligent. You're too intelligent to have gotten votes. Number 3, who looked like she would write about all kinds of trashy stuff. What about you? Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Patricia Hansen, and I'm currently selling men's clothing.
Good for you. Well, 2 incorrect votes at $500 apiece means $1,000 in cash for the team. And thank you, ladies, so much for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back to play one-on-one with someone from the studio audience right after this. We're adding something new to our one-on-one segment today, the element of surprise. Burton, who gets to play today?
Someone from Spokane, Washington, and her name is Emily Lucky. Emily, where are you? Ah, here she is. Come on out here.
Well, welcome to our program, and I hope
you.
you are lucky today in this one-on-one segment. If you are, you could wind up winning $500 in cash. Let me introduce a gentleman who has 2 stories to tell Folks, please welcome Michael Flatley. Emily, as you know, Michael will tell us two stories, only one of which happens to be true. If you spot the true story, then you win the $500. Michael, your first story, please.
I'm the fastest tap dancer in the world. I broke a record by tap dancing faster than anyone in history.
Sounds impressive, but it may not be the truth. Let's listen to that second story.
Anybody can raise mushrooms in a dark, damp basement. I grow mine in a penthouse apartment in Chicago.
Oh, well, you've heard the two stories. Now listen to the questioning by our panelists. Kitty, the first story, the fastest tap dancer in the world.
Thank you. How is speed judged in tap dancing?
It was recorded at a sound studio so that they could, count the taps.
Thank you.
Frank.
What was the piece of music you did it to?
It was done a cappella.
Mother?
How long have you tap danced?
For about 21 years.
Ron?
And whose record did you break?
A tap dancer from England.
Now let's get to story number 2. He grows mushrooms in a penthouse apartment. Kitty?
Are your mushrooms for personal use or for sale?
Really just for my friends and family and myself.
Frank?
What's your favorite mushroom recipe?
Well, the morel mushrooms, we make a beautiful sauce out of it, myself and my wife, and we enjoy that.
Mother?
How long does it take for the mushrooms to go from seed to when you can pick them and actually eat them?
The ones that I like take about 6 months.
Ron?
What's the name of the famous Lakeshore Drive in Chicago?
The Magnificent Mile.
All righty. Emily, you've heard our cross-examination. It's up to you for $500. Is Michael Flatley the fastest tap dancer, or is he a mushroom grower?
I think he's a mushroom grower.
Think he's a mushroom grower. All righty. Michael Flatley, what's your true story?
Well, to tell the truth, I'm the world's fastest tap dancer.
Emily, you are not lucky today, and so you'll have to be content with a gift we have for you backstage. But thank you for playing one-on-one with us. And Michael, $1,000 in cash coming your way, and I'd like to see an example of your tap dancing. Perhaps we could do that after this commercial break.
I'd love to.
We'll be right back after this.
Next, we unearth actress Brian Leary, first as a contestant, then as a celebrity on a rare double play of Match Game. Stay tuned, if you dare.
Some people say dress your age. That's ridiculous. Age is just an illusion. How you show up for the world, that's what's real. What's your idea? I put it out there with the GoDaddy website.
We were looking for interior design and we came across Monty. Working with our designer was really seamless. It was very easy to make the room what I wanted.
I didn't think that we could have a house like out of a magazine.
This is exactly what I want to come home to.
How long have you been standing? 30 minutes. I don't push boring buttons now that I play Slotomania. Slotomania's button brings pure excitement. Each push spins new games and exciting jackpot wins. Download Slotomania for free today. Still could have knocked.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, here is the man who replaced me as the world's fastest tap dancer, Michael Flatley. Second. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning us in. We'll see you next time.
This is Burton Richardson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson television production.
See you tomorrow.
We love you. We'll see you here on The Family Feud.
Show until next time, this is Peter Tomarkin on behalf of the Focati Rug saying thanks for pressing your luck. Bye-bye.
Anyway, we have just 10 seconds to say goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow. So long.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
We got 5 seconds.
Oh, no, we have 3,
2, 1.
Bye.